Velas's colors shifted through patterns that Doyen could not read. The Telvari seemed frozen, processing something important. Finally it spoke. "You had interview at Nexara Industries? At 10 o'clock? "Yes," Doyen said. He felt exhausted suddenly, the weight of what he had done finally hitting him. "For a junior systems analyst position, it was my dream job. And you missed this dream job to fix my ship?" Doyen managed a small smile. "I guess I did. Why?" Velas's colors darkened with something that might have been distress. "You do not know me. My problem is not your problem. Why would you sacrifice your future for a stranger?" "I don't know," Doyen admitted. He had been asking himself the same question for the last hour. "I saw you needed help. Nobody else was helping. It felt wrong to just walk away. Even though it cost you everything?" Doyen looked at his dirty hands, his stained shirt, his ruined interview clothes. He thought about the phone calls he had ignored, the chance he had thrown away. "My grandfather taught me that being a good engineer isn't just about fixing machines. It's about helping people. I guess I'm my grandfather's student." Velas made a sound like wind chimes. It might have been laughter. "Your grandfather was wise human." He was. Doyen picked up his bag, which he had set down when he started working. "You should go to your meeting now. And I should go home and figure out what to do with my life." "Wait," Velas said. "Please wait." Something in the Telvari's voice made Doyen stop. Velas seemed to be struggling with something, its colors shifting rapidly between different shades. "You said you had interview for junior systems analyst position, yes?" "Yes. And you have qualifications?" "Education? I graduated from Soltech University. Top of my class. I specialized in cross-species propulsion systems." Doyen heard the bitterness in his own voice. "Though I guess that doesn't matter now." "It matters," Velas said firmly. "It matters very much. Tell me, Doyen, do you know who I am?" "You said your name is Velas. You work in ship manufacturing." "Yes, but I did not tell you my full title." Velas's colors settled into a deep, steady blue. "I am Director Velas, Chief Technology Officer of Nexara Industries. I am also co-founder of the company." Doyen stared. The words did not make sense at first. "Director Velas, Chief Technology Officer, Nexara Industries, you're what? The urgent meeting I must attend?" "It is board meeting at Nexara headquarters. We have critical design flaw in our new ship line. I was rushing to orbital platform when my ship failed." Velas gestured to the now-running engine. "You fixed my ship. You made me able to attend most important meeting of the year." Doyen felt dizzy. This could not be real. The alien he had helped, the one he had sacrificed his interview for, was the CTO of the company. The coincidence was too impossible. I don't understand," he managed to say. "Your interview this morning," Velas continued, "for junior systems analyst position. I was supposed to participate in final interview. When I did not arrive, my assistant had to proceed without me. They gave your time slot to another candidate." "Oh." Doyen sat down heavily on a nearby crate. The irony was almost funny. He had missed his interview because he was helping the person who was supposed to interview him. "I am very sorry," Velas said. Its colors showed genuine regret. "If I had known, I would have told you to go. Your future is important." "It's not your fault," Doyen said. "I made my choice." Velas tilted its head in a gesture that seemed thoughtful. "Yes, you made interesting choice. Very unusual choice," it paused. "Tell me about your repair method. How did you know to use salt water?" "Basic chemistry. I just adapted the principle to your technology." "And the bypass? How did you know where to find controls?" "Logic. Most species design ships similarly because pilots have similar needs. The specific details are different, but the underlying patterns are the same." "And the cooling loop? Using primitive mechanical principles with advanced bioorganic system? My grandfather taught me about old human spacecraft. Simple designs that work anywhere. I thought maybe I could apply those principles to your more advanced technology." Velas's colors brightened. "Do you know what you did, Doyen? You solved in 90 minutes a problem that would take our specialists 6 hours. You used materials that cost almost nothing. You combined old and new, simple and complex, mechanical and organic. You thought outside of standard solutions. I just did what made sense." "Exactly." Velas moved closer. "This is what we need at Nexara. This kind of thinking. Galaxy's technology has become too rigid. Every species specializes too narrowly. We have forgotten how to think creatively, how to adapt, how to use simple solutions." Doyen did not know what to say. He was too tired, too emotionally exhausted to process what was happening. I want to offer you position at Nexara, Velis said. You, what, but not junior systems analyst. That position is too small for your abilities. Velis's colors shimmered with excitement. I want you to join Special Innovation Division. This is secret team that solves impossible problems. Problems that have stumped our best engineers. Doyen laughed. He could not help it. You're joking. You must be joking. I am not joking. I'm very serious, but I'm human. Humans are considered primitive. Everyone knows that. You fixed my ship using salt water and old spacecraft principles, Velis pointed out. That is not primitive. That is brilliant. Your other engineers won't accept me. They'll say a human doesn't belong. Yes, Velis agreed. They will say that. Many will resist. Some will be very unhappy. You will face prejudice and skepticism every day. It paused. But you will also change how Galaxy sees humans. You will prove that new perspectives have value. That different does not mean lesser. Doyen thought about his 2 years of job searching, all the rejections, all the times people had looked at him and seen only human, not engineer, all the times he had felt like he did not belong in this new galactic world. Why would you do this? He asked. Why take a chance on me? Because you took chance on me, Velis said simply. You sacrificed your future to help stranger. You showed compassion and skill and creativity. These are qualities I value more than advanced technology. Doyen looked at his phone. 7 missed calls. Multiple text messages from Hana asking how the interview went. He thought about going home and telling her he had thrown away his chance. He thought about continuing his job search, facing more rejections, more prejudice, or he could say yes. He could take this impossible opportunity. He could prove that humans belonged. The position pays 3 times junior analyst salary, Velis added, and you start immediately. I need you at that board meeting today. I need your perspective on our design problem. Today? But I'm covered in grease. I smell like engine coolant. You look like someone who fixes things. That is perfect. Velis's colors brightened with amusement. So, do you accept? Doyen thought about his grandfather, about doing the right thing even when it cost him, about helping people, not just machines. His grandfather would tell him to trust his instincts. His instincts said this was crazy. This was impossible. This was too good to be true. His instincts also said yes. I accept, Doyen said. Velis's colors exploded in brilliant patterns. Excellent. Come. We must go to orbital headquarters immediately. The board meeting starts soon. You will help me solve our impossible problem. Wait, what problem? I will explain on the way, come. Doyen grabbed his bag and followed the excited Telvari toward the ship. As he climbed aboard, he looked back at the maintenance platform where he had made his choice. The place where he had sacrificed his dream job and somehow gained something better. Maybe the universe had a sense of humor after all. Doyen knelt beside the engine compartment and studied the problem carefully. The crystallized cooling gel blocked the entire circulation system. It was hard as rock now, jamming all the delicate bioorganic tubes. Telvari mechanics would need special solvent, Velis explained, hovering nearby. Takes 6 hours minimum. Must order from specialized supplier. We don't have 6 hours, Doyen said. He touched one of the crystallized chunks carefully. It was cold despite the heat of the engine. What's the chemical composition of your cooling gel? Velis rattled off a complex formula in Galactic Common. Doyen recognized some of the compounds. The gel was designed to stay liquid in Telvari atmosphere, which was rich in certain gases that Earth's atmosphere lacked. Without those gases, the gel had a different reaction. It had frozen solid. I need that water, Doyen said. And do you have any salt? Salt? Velis's colors shifted in confusion. For food? Yes, any kind of salt. Velis disappeared into the ship and returned with a container of water and a small packet. I have this. For preserving food on long journey. Perfect. Doyen opened the packet and mixed salt into the water, creating a saline solution. He used careful measurements, remembering his chemistry lessons from university. The concentration had to be just right. What are you doing? Velis asked. The cooling gel crystallized because Earth's atmosphere is different from yours, Doyen explained as he worked. But I can't dissolve it with normal water. I need something with the right mineral balance. This salt water should have similar properties to the compounds in your home atmosphere. Should have? Velis's colors showed alarm. You are not certain? Nothing is certain, Doyen admitted. But this is my best idea. He carefully poured the salt water into the cooling system. It hissed and steamed where it touched the hot metal. For a moment, nothing happened. Then slowly, very slowly, the crystallized gel began to soften. It did not dissolve completely, but it became soft enough to move. It's working, Velis said, its colors brightening. How did you know? Basic chemistry, Doyen said. Every species builds their technology around their home environment, but the underlying principles are the same everywhere. You just have to adapt. He worked quickly now, using basic tools to clear away the softened gel. His hands got dirty and his shirt got stained, but he did not care. The problem was fascinating. Telvari technology was incredibly advanced, yes, but it was also fragile. It relied on very specific conditions to function. Human technology was different. Humans had built machines that could work in any environment because Earth had so many different environments. Desert, Arctic, ocean, mountain, space. Human engineers had learned to make things tough and adaptable because they had to. Your cooling system has 3 pumps, Doyen said, peering into the engine. But I think you only need one. Need all 3, Velis protested. Is safety feature, redundancy? Yes, but right now 2 of them are completely jammed. If we bypass them and run everything through the 3rd pump, the system should work. It won't be as safe, but it will get you where you need to go. Bypass 2 pumps? Velis looked horrified. Is not recommended. Very not recommended. Do you want to fly today or not? Velis's colors shifted through several shades. You are certain this will work? No, Doyen said honestly. But I think it will. And it's better than sitting here for 6 hours waiting for a specialist. He did not mention that his phone had buzzed several times in his pocket. He did not check it. He knew what the messages said. He was late. He had missed his interview slot. His chance was gone. Better to focus on what he could control. Better to finish what he started. Tell me about your urgent meeting, Doyen said as he worked. Talking helped him think. What is so important? Velis hesitated. His business meeting. Very important business. I cannot miss. What kind of business? Ship manufacturing. Design problems. Need my expertise to solve. You work in ship design? Doyen asked, interested despite everything. What's your role? How to say? I manage technical aspects, Doyen nodded. He understood not wanting to share details with a stranger. He found the bypass controls exactly where he expected them to be. Telvari technology was advanced, but the logic behind it followed predictable patterns. Every species put safety overrides in similar locations because pilots needed to access them quickly in emergencies. He rerouted the cooling flow, bypassing the 2 jammed pumps. It was crude work, not elegant. A Telvari engineer would probably be horrified, but it would function. Almost done, he said. I need to create a new cooling loop. Your bioorganic tubes can't handle the Earth atmosphere long term, but I can set up a temporary system using mechanical principles. Mechanical? Velis sounded skeptical. But my ship is bioorganic design. Exactly. Bioorganic is beautiful and efficient, but it's specialized. Mechanical systems are simpler, but they're more adaptable. We can combine both. Doyen worked for another 30 minutes using spare parts from his own toolkit and some materials he found in the ship's storage. He created a crude but functional cooling loop based on old human spacecraft designs. His grandfather had taught him about those ancient ships, the ones that first took humans to the moon and Mars. Simple machines that worked in any condition. Finally, he stepped back. Try starting the engine now. Velis moved to the ship's control panel. Its crystalline fingers moved over the interface. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the engine hummed to life. The sound was rough, not as smooth as it should be, but it was running. It works. Velis's colors exploded in bright, happy shades. You fixed it. A human fixed my ship. Doyen smiled tiredly. He looked at his watch. 10:45. His interview had been scheduled for 10 o'clock. He had missed it completely. 2 years of searching, 2 weeks of preparation, all gone. But looking at Velis's happy colors, Doyen could not quite bring himself to regret his choice. You should get to your meeting, he said. The repair is temporary. You'll need to visit a proper Telvari mechanic soon, but this should get you where you need to go. How much do I owe you? Velis asked immediately. I pay well, very well. You saved my business meeting. Nothing, Doyen said. He picked up his jacket, now dirty and stained. I just wanted to help. Nothing? But you spent so much time. You clearly had somewhere to be. Your device buzzed many times. Doyen shrugged. Some things are more important than appointments. Even as he said it, he felt the weight of the lie. His interview had been the most important thing in the world to him. But he had chosen to help anyway, and he had to live with that choice. Veles stared at him with its alien eyes. What appointment did you miss? Just a job interview, Doyen said, trying to sound casual. Nothing special, nothing special. Where? A company called HFY Industries. But it's fine. I'm sure they'll have other openings. Veles went completely still. Its colors shifted to something Doyen could not read. HFY Industries? Yes, do you know it? For a long moment, Veles did not answer. Doyen walked through the main corridor of the spaceport toward the orbital elevator. The building buzzed with activity. Announcements echoed through the speakers in multiple languages. Ships roared overhead as they came and went from the landing platforms. He was almost at the elevator entrance when he heard shouting. It came from somewhere off to his right, from the direction of the maintenance district. Doyen paused. He should keep walking. He should focus on his interview. But curiosity made him turn his head. Smoke rose from one of the side platforms. Black smoke, thick and dark. More shouting followed, and then he heard a loud metallic groan. Doyen checked his watch. 9:15. He had 45 minutes until his interview. Plenty of time. He could take a quick look and still make it to the elevator with time to spare. He turned away from the main corridor and walked toward the maintenance district. This area was usually restricted to workers only, but the gates stood open. Several people had gathered near the edge of the platform, pointing and talking. Doyen pushed through the small crowd and saw the problem immediately. A ship had made an emergency landing on one of the maintenance platforms. It was a small vessel, sleek and beautiful, clearly expensive. The design was alien, not human-made. Its hull shimmered with colors that seemed to shift in the light. But beautiful as it was, the ship was in trouble. Smoke poured from its engine compartment. Scorch marks blackened the landing platform beneath it. Next to the ship stood an alien. Doyen recognized the species immediately from his studies. Telvari. The alien was tall, nearly 2 meters, with skin that looked like polished crystal. Light seemed to move beneath the surface of its skin in patterns that might have been expressions. The Telvari were known across the galaxy for their biotechnology and their wealth. This particular Telvari looked distressed. Its crystalline hands moved rapidly as it spoke to a human mechanic in broken galactic common. Please, you must help, the Telvari said. Its voice had a musical quality like wind chimes. Very urgent. Must reach meeting. Critical importance, the mechanic shook his head. Sorry, friend. I don't work on alien tech. Too complicated. You need a specialist. No time for specialist. The Telvari's colors shifted to darker shades. Please, I pay well. Very well. Can't help you. The mechanic walked away, wiping his hands on his pants. The Telvari looked around desperately. It spotted another mechanic nearby. Please, you help? Ship broken. Must fix. The second mechanic glanced at the smoking vessel and laughed. That's Telvari biotech, right? Way above my pay grade. Good luck. He walked away too. Doyen watched as the Telvari tried to stop a third person, then a fourth. Everyone refused. Some said it was too difficult. Others said they did not have time. One person actually said, "Not my problem." The Telvari stood alone next to the damaged ship. Its crystalline form seemed to dim. Even though Doyen did not know much about Telvari expressions, he could see that the alien was close to giving up. Doyen looked at his watch again. 9:20. 35 minutes until his interview. The orbital elevator was right there, less than a 5-minute walk away. All he had to do was turn around and leave. This was not his problem. He did not know this alien. He had his own future to worry about. This interview was the most important thing in his life. He had waited 2 years for this chance. Nothing should interfere with it, but the Telvari looked so desperate, and nobody else was helping. Doyen thought about what his sister would say. Hana always helped people even when it was inconvenient. She always said that doing the right thing mattered more than doing the easy thing. He thought about his grandfather too, who had taught him everything about fixing machines. His grandfather used to say that a good engineer helps people, not just machines. Doyen took a deep breath. He was probably making a huge mistake, but he could not just walk away. He approached the Telvari carefully. "Excuse me, I might be able to help." The Telvari turned quickly, its colors brightening with hope. Then it saw Doyen was human and the colors dimmed again. You, human? Yes, my name is Doyen, I'm an engineer. I studied cross-species propulsion systems. The Telvari looked doubtful. No offense to human, but Telvari technology very advanced. Very complex. Not simple. I understand, Doyen said patiently. But I can try. What happened? The Telvari hesitated, then seemed to decide it had no other options. Ship overheated during atmospheric entry. Emergency landing here. Cooling system failed. Engine locked. Cannot restart. Can I look at the engine compartment? The Telvari gestured toward the ship. Please. But I think is impossible to fix quickly. Doyen walked to the ship and opened the engine compartment. Heat poured out immediately, making him step back. He waited a moment for it to cool slightly, then leaned in to look. The engine was unlike anything he had seen in person before. It was organic and mechanical at the same time, which was typical of Telvari technology. Tubes that looked almost like blood vessels connected to metal components. A substance that might have been cooling gel had crystallized into hard chunks. Everything was overheated and locked up. Doyen understood the problem immediately. Telvari bioorganic systems were designed for their home planet's atmosphere. Earth's atmosphere had different chemical composition. The cooling gel had reacted badly and solidified. I think I can fix this, Doyen said slowly. The Telvari's colors brightened again. Truly? How long? Doyen looked at his watch. 9:25. I don't know. Maybe an hour? Maybe 2? His interview started in 35 minutes. If he did this, he would miss it completely. The rational part of his brain screamed at him to stop being stupid. This was his future he was throwing away. For what, to help a stranger? But Doyen had already made his decision. He could not walk away now. What is your name? He asked the Telvari. I am called Velis, the alien replied. Okay, Velis. I'll help you. But I need some materials. Do you have any water on the ship? Water? Yes, in storage. Good. I'll also need some basic tools, and I need to access the bypass controls. Velis stared at him. You know about bypass controls? On Telvari ship? The principle is similar across most species, Doyen explained. The specific mechanisms are different, but the basic idea is the same. Every advanced species builds redundancy into their systems. You just have to know where to look. For the first time, Velis's colors brightened with something other than distress. You are unusual human. I get that a lot, Doyen said. He pulled off his jacket and rolled up his sleeves. His nice interview clothes were about to get very dirty. Let's get started. As he began working, Doyen tried not to think about his phone. Tried not to imagine the Nexara Industries office calling him, wondering where he was. Tried not to picture his chance at his dream job slipping away with every minute that passed. He focused on the ship instead. On the problem in front of him. On helping someone who needed help. Maybe he was an idiot. Maybe he was throwing away his future. But at least he would be able to look at himself in the mirror tomorrow. Doyen stared at his reflection in the bathroom mirror. His hand shook slightly as he adjusted his tie for the 3rd time. Today was the day that would change everything. Today he had an interview with Nexara Industries. He could barely believe it was real. Nexara Industries, the biggest starship company in 3 sectors of the galaxy. When the email arrived 2 weeks ago, Doyen had read it 5 times before accepting that it was not a joke. They wanted to interview him for a junior systems analyst position. Are you ready? His sister Hana appeared in the doorway holding a cup of coffee. She smiled at him warmly. You look very professional. I feel like I'm going to throw up, Doyen admitted. He took the coffee from her gratefully. The warm cup helped steady his hands. You're going to be amazing, Hana said firmly. You graduated top of your class. You know more about propulsion systems than anyone I know. They would be stupid not to hire you. Doyen wished he had her confidence. The truth was harder than she knew. For the past 2 years since graduation, he had sent out hundreds of applications. Most companies never replied. The ones that did gave polite rejections. The message was always the same. Human technology was too primitive, too basic, too simple. Why would a galactic company hire a human when they could hire a Telvari or a Quarren or a Mekthar? Humans had only joined the Galactic Commerce Assembly 15 years ago. They were the newest members, the least advanced, the species everyone looked down on. Doyen had felt that prejudice every day of his job search, but Nexara had given him a chance. One chance, and he would not waste it. What time is your interview? Hana asked. 10 o'clock. At the orbital headquarters. Doyen checked his watch. It was 7:30 in the morning. I need to leave soon. The transit shuttle to the orbital elevator takes 40 minutes. Did you pack your portfolio? Doyen patted his bag. Inside was everything he needed. His credentials, his thesis on hybrid propulsion systems, 3 letters of recommendation from his professors, and a data pad containing his best work. He had spent the last 2 weeks preparing answers to every possible question. He had practiced his introduction in front of the mirror until he could say it perfectly without stuttering. His roommate Eugen stumbled into the kitchen, yawning. Is today the big day? Yes, Doyen said. You've got this, man. Eugen clapped him on the shoulder. Remember what we practiced. Make eye contact. Speak clearly. Show them that humans are just as good as any other species. Just as good. Hana raised an eyebrow. Better. Humans are better. Doyen smiled despite his nerves. His sister always believed humans could do anything. She was studying to be a doctor, and she often said that human medicine would revolutionize galactic healthcare someday. Doyen loved her optimism even if he did not always share it. He finished his coffee and grabbed his bag. I should go. I want to arrive early. Good luck. Hana hugged him tightly. Call me as soon as it's over. You're going to crush it, Eugen added. Doyen stepped out of their small apartment into the morning air of Seoul. The city had changed so much since humanity joined the galactic community. Alien ships flew overhead regularly now. Signs were written in Galactic Common alongside Korean. The spaceport district hummed with activity day and night. He walked to the nearest transit station and boarded the shuttle heading toward the orbital elevator. The elevator was humanity's connection to the stars, a massive structure that reached from Earth's surface up into orbit. At the top sat the orbital platform where hundreds of companies had their headquarters. The shuttle was crowded with morning commuters. Doyen found a seat near the window and tried to calm his racing thoughts. He pulled out his data pad and reviewed his notes one more time. Junior systems analyst, he whispered to himself. My name is Doyen. I graduated from Seoul Tech University with honors. My specialty is cross-species propulsion systems. A woman sitting nearby glanced at him strangely. Doyen realized he was talking to himself and felt his face grow hot. He put the data pad away and stared out the window instead. The shuttle moved smoothly through the city. Doyen watched the buildings pass by. Somewhere up there in one of those buildings floating in orbit, his future waited. If he got this job, everything would change. He would have money to help his sister with her medical school costs. He would have respect. He would prove that humans belonged in the galaxy if he got this job. His stomach twisted with anxiety. What if they rejected him like everyone else? What if they took one look at him and decided a human was not good enough? What if he froze up during the interview and could not remember any of his prepared answers? Doyen took a deep breath. He could not think like that. Negative thoughts would only make things worse. He had to believe in himself the way Hana believed in him. The shuttle reached the spaceport district. Through the window, Doyen could see the base of the orbital elevator. It was massive, larger than any building in Old Seoul. Ships came and went constantly, carrying cargo and passengers up to orbit and back down to Earth. The shuttle stopped, and the doors opened. Doyen stepped out onto the platform. All around him, people hurried in different directions. Humans mostly, but also a few aliens. A tall Quarren walked past, its 6 legs moving in perfect coordination. A group of small Mechthar chattered in their clicking language. Doyen checked his watch again. 8:45. He had plenty of time. The orbital elevator left every 20 minutes, and the ride up took 30 minutes. He would arrive at the orbital platform by 9:30, giving him half an hour to find the Nexara Industries office and calm his nerves before the interview. He started walking toward the elevator entrance, following the signs written in both Korean and Galactic Common. His heart pounded in his chest. This was it. This was really happening. As he walked, Doyen allowed himself a small moment of hope. Maybe today would be different. Maybe today someone would finally see past his species and recognize his skills. Maybe today was the day his life would finally begin. He did not know that everything was about to change in a way he could never imagine. He did not know that in less than an hour he would make a choice that would alter the course of his entire future. All Doyen knew was that he had an interview at 10 o'clock, and he intended to be there on time. The flight to the orbital headquarters was short, but terrifying. Velas piloted the ship with casual confidence despite the rough repair job. Doyun gripped his seat and tried not to think about the temporary cooling system he had jury-rigged. "Relax," Velas said, its colors showing amusement. "Your repair is solid. We will not explode." "That's reassuring," Doyun muttered. As they flew, Velas explained the problem they were facing. Nexara's newest ship design, the Starliner Mk7, had a critical flaw. The propulsion system worked perfectly in space, but when entering planetary atmospheres, it overheated. 3 test flights had failed. Engineers had been trying to solve it for months. "We have tried everything," Velas said. "Better cooling systems, stronger materials, more efficient fuel. Nothing works. The problem is fundamental, but we cannot find it." "What happens if you can't solve it?" Doyun asked. "Company loses millions. Reputation damaged. Investors pull funding." Velas's colors darkened. "This is why board meeting is so urgent." They docked at the orbital platform. The headquarters was massive, a gleaming structure that housed thousands of workers from dozens of species. Doyun felt very small as he followed Velas through the corridors. Other aliens stared at them as they passed. A human in dirty clothes following the CTO. Doyun heard whispers in languages he did not understand. They entered a large conference room. 20 aliens sat around a circular table. Doyun recognized several species. More Telvari, 3 Quarren with their multiple legs, 2 Mekthar who looked like walking crystals, and others he could not identify. Everyone stopped talking when Velas entered with Doyun. "Director Velas," a Telvari with dark purple coloring said, "You are late. We were about to cancel the meeting." "My apologies," Velas said. "I had ship emergency. But I bring solution to our Starliner problem." The purple Telvari looked at Doyun skeptically. "This is solution? A human?" "This human fixed my ship in 90 minutes using salt water and mechanical principles," Velas said. "I believe his perspective will help us." "Impossible," a Quarren said. Its translator made its voice sound harsh. "We have best engineers in 3 sectors working on Starliner. How can primitive humans solve what they cannot?" "That is why I brought him," Velas said calmly. "Because he thinks differently. Please, let him see the specifications." A Mekthar engineer, who Doyun later learned was named Crix, projected a hologram of the Starliner Mk7. The ship was beautiful, sleek, and powerful. Doyun studied it carefully, noting the propulsion system design. "Show me the test flight data," he said quietly. Crix looked at Velas, who nodded. More holograms appeared, showing temperature readings, stress measurements, and failure points. Doyun studied the data for several minutes. The room was silent. He could feel everyone watching him, judging him. Part of him wanted to run away, but he focused on the problem instead. "The propulsion system is incredibly efficient," he said finally. "Maybe too efficient." "Too efficient?" Crix's translated voice dripped with scorn. "Efficiency is the goal. How can there be too much efficiency?" "Because you optimized for spaceflight," Doyun explained. "In space, your design is perfect. But atmospheres are different. They create friction, pressure, turbulence. Your system is so efficient that it has no tolerance for these variables. When it encounters atmosphere, it cannot adapt." "We added cooling systems," the purple Telvari said impatiently. "We added stronger materials. We tried everything." "But you did not add flexibility," Doyun said. "You made the system stronger but not more adaptable." "What do you propose?" Velas asked. Its colors showed interest. Doyun thought about his grandfather's old stories, about the early human spacecraft that had to work in any condition. "The solution is not to make it stronger. The solution is to make it deliberately less efficient." The room exploded with protests. "Less efficient?" Crix shouted. "This is madness. Our design is based on maximum efficiency," the purple Telvari said coldly. "We cannot sacrifice that." "Listen to his reasoning," Velas said loudly, its colors flashing with authority. "Doyun, explain." "Early human spacecraft were not efficient," Doyun said. "They used way too much fuel. They generated extra heat. They were heavy and slow, but they were reliable because they could handle unexpected problems. When something went wrong, they had extra capacity to compensate." He pointed to the hologram. "Your propulsion system runs at 98% efficiency. That's amazing, but it means you only have 2% capacity for problems. When the ship hits atmosphere, that 2% is not enough. The system cannot adapt, so what do we do?" Crix asked, still skeptical but listening now. Run the system at 90% efficiency instead of 98%. Use that extra 8% as buffer capacity. When the ship hits atmosphere, the system can compensate. It can adapt to changes in real time. 8% loss in efficiency? The purple Telvari looked horrified. Investors will never accept that. 8% loss in space, Doyun corrected. But 0% loss in atmosphere, because the current system fails completely. A ship that works everywhere is better than a ship that only works in space. Velis's colors brightened. Yes, this makes sense. We have been thinking about the problem wrong. We tried to make perfect system more perfect, but we needed to make it more flexible instead. This is human thinking, Crix grumbled. Accepting inefficiency, accepting imperfection. This is practical thinking, Velis said firmly. Crix, run simulations. Reduce propulsion efficiency to 90%. Add dynamic compensation buffers. See what happens. Crix worked at a control panel. The hologram shifted, showing new calculations. Everyone watched as the simulation ran through a test flight, entering atmosphere. The temperature stayed stable. The stress levels remained acceptable. The ship did not overheat. It works, Crix said, sounding stunned. The simulation shows complete success. Ship performs perfectly in both space and atmosphere. The room fell silent. Everyone stared at the hologram, then at Doyen. A human solved it, someone whispered. A human solved our impossible problem. The purple Telvari stood up. Director Velis, I apologize for my skepticism. This human solution is elegant, simple but effective. It turned to Doyen. You have saved our company. Doyen did not know what to say. He had just been thinking logically, using principles his grandfather taught him. I just looked at it differently. That is exactly what we needed, Velis said. Its colors were bright with pride. Different perspective. Fresh thinking. This is why diversity matters. This is why we need engineers from all backgrounds, all species, all levels of technology. Over the next hour, they refined the solution. Doyen worked with Crix and the other engineers, explaining his reasoning, answering questions. Slowly, the skepticism turned to respect. They began to see him not as the human, but as a colleague. Finally, Velis dismissed the meeting. As everyone filed out, several engineers stopped to thank Doyen personally. Crix even apologized for calling his idea madness. When the room was empty except for Doyen and Velis, the Telvari turned to him. You did well today. Very well. I was terrified, Doyen admitted. Everyone was staring at me. Judging me? Yes, and you proved them wrong. You showed that humans have value, that your thinking has merit. Velis's colors softened. This will not be easy, you understand? Every day, you will face doubt. Every day you must prove yourself again. Some will never accept you. I know, Doyen said, but I want to try anyway. Good, because I have 17 more impossible problems that need your perspective. Doyen laughed. He pulled out his phone and saw messages from Hana. He sent her a quick text. Interview went differently than expected. I got the job. We'll explain everything tonight. Her response came immediately. What? Tell me everything now. Later, he wrote back. I have work to do, he looked at Velis. What's the next problem? Velis's colors brightened with approval. Come, I will show you your new office. Then we have much to discuss. As Doyen followed Velis through the halls of Nexara Industries, he thought about the strange path that had led him here. He had woken up this morning expecting one future. He had sacrificed it to help a stranger. And somehow, impossibly, he had found something better. He was not naive. He knew the challenges ahead would be difficult. But he also knew something important now. He belonged here. Not despite being human, but because of it. His different perspective, his grandfather's teachings, his willingness to help others, these things had value. The galaxy was about to learn that humans had more to offer than anyone expected. And Doyen was going to help teach that lesson, one impossible problem at a time.